Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor S.P. Singh from Faculty of Management Studies, Gurukul Kangdi University, Haridwar. Today we are going to study Module 13 on multivariate analysis. After studying this module, you shall be able to know the concept of multivariate analysis, understand the objectives of multivariate analysis, comprehend the advantages and disadvantages of multivariate analysis, understand the applications of multivariate analysis, and become aware of the major technique of multivariate analysis. Multivariate analysis is a common term applied to categorize a family of analytic methods characterized by the simultaneous analysis of k independent variables and m dependent variables. If an analysis includes, for instance, 4 independent variables and 2 dependent variables dealt with simultaneously, it is a multivariate analysis. Multivariate analysis may be defined as a collection of methods for analysis data in which a several independent number of observations represent a dependent variable available to define such relationship. The techniques that take account of the various relationships among variables are termed multivariate analysis. According to Zsigmond, multivariate analysis involves statistical methods that allow the simultaneous investigation of more than 2 variables. Of all methods of analysis, multivariate methods are the most powerful and appropriate for behavioral, scientific and educational research. According to Kerlinger, multivariate techniques are largely logical extensions of univariate techniques. Objectives of multivariate analysis. The basic objectives of multivariate analysis are to transform large number of observations into smaller composite scores, to predict the variability of the dependent variable based on its covariance with all the independent variables, to classify individuals or objects into one of the 2 or more mutually exclusive and exhausting groups on the basis of a set of independent variables. The main advantage of multivariate analysis is that since it considers more than one factor of independent variables which influence the variability of dependent variable, the conclusion drawn is more accurate. The conclusions are more realistic and nearer to real life situation. The main disadvantage of multivariate analysis include that it requires rather complex computations to arrive at a satisfactory conclusion. A large number of observations for large number of variables need to be collected and tabulated. It is rather time consuming process. It also proves to be an expensive proposition in terms of cost. Moreover, a specialized trained staff is required to process and analyze the complex data utilizing multivariate technique. The techniques of multivariate analysis are successfully employed in the following areas: econometrics or decision making in economics, such as the impact of inflation, money circulation, lowering of tariffs, etc. on price rise. Sociological decision making, such as diverse rates and their cause-effect relationship with marriage, social demographics, and income levels. Agrarian predictions, such as impacts of rain, fertilizers, and mechanization on agricultural yields per acre. Drug testing, such as impact of new drugs on the main disease and other side effects. State fiscal decision making, such as impact of tax structure, duties, penalty rates, etc. on the government revenue. Industrial decision making, such as plant location, which depends on infrastructure, availability of raw material, distribution channels, etc. Major techniques of multivariate analysis include factor analysis, cluster analysis, discriminant analysis, and conjoint analysis. Factor analysis. Factor analysis is one of the most popular analysis of interdependence techniques. In studies of interdependence, all the variables are on equal footing and the analysis is concerned with the whole set of relationship among the variable that characterize the objects. Unlike regression or discriminant analysis, factor analysis would focus on the whole set of interrelationships displayed by the variables. Factor analysis is a procedure that takes a large number of variables or objects and identify factor in common which showed their intercorrelation. For example, high association can attributed to correlation between grades in computer course to the factor of intelligence or the association between certain attributes of coffee and factor of acidity. Factor analysis is used for data reduction, structure, identification, and scaling. Factor analysis is used for reducing a mass of data to a manageable level. For example, a researcher has collected data on 40 attributes of a brand. The data may be unmanageable for the research. The factor analysis of data may help in reducing 30 attributes and having only 10 to 15 attributes. Factor analysis has been employed to purify original sets of scale items by isolating items not reflecting a common score as well as to name the dimension captured by the measure. It is also used in the study of lifestyles and psychographic research problems in which it is used to develop consumer profiles that reflect people, attitudes, activities, interest, opinions, perceptions and performances so as to better predict their consumption and purchase behavior. One of the major impetuses of lifestyles and psychographic research has been the generally inadequate nature of market segments defined using traditional demographic measures. Factor analysis may also be used to understand the basic structure underlying a set of measures. For example, the 30 attributes may be reduced to 10 factors identified by the researcher. The factor analysis has certain limitations as the factor analysis is not supported by statistical methods. The different results can be obtained by using loading factors in different manners. A large number of attributes are required to study factor analysis. In some cases, complex factors are used which respondents find difficult to understand. Cluster analysis. The cluster analysis is an exploratory analysis that tries to identify structures within the data. Specifically, it identifies homogeneous groups of cases and is used to identify groups of cases if the grouping is not previously known. Because it is explorative in nature, it does not make any distinction between dependent and independent variables. The various cluster analysis methods that SPSS offers can deal with binary, nominal, ordinal and scale data. The cluster analysis is usually part of the sequence of analysis of factor analysis, cluster analysis, and finally discriminate analysis. A factor analysis reduces the dimensions and the number of variables so as to make it easier to run the cluster analysis. Also, the factor analysis minimizes multi-collinearity effects. The cluster analysis establishes the grouping. A discriminate analysis examines the goodness of fit of the model found by the cluster analysis and profile the clusters. In majority of analysis, a discriminate analysis follows a cluster analysis because the cluster analysis does not contain any measures of goodness of fit or tests of significance. The discriminate analysis is the basis for cluster analysis to examine if the groups are statistically significant and if the variables are able to significantly discriminate between the groups. However, this does not ensure that the groups are actually meaningful. The interpretation and selection of the right cluster is somewhat of an art. The discriminate analysis constructs a predictive model that allows plugging in the number of new cases and predicting the cluster membership. The cluster analysis most often is used for market segmentation, segmenting industries, segmenting markets, career planning and training analysis, and segmenting financial sectors. Market segmentation is the process of splitting potential customers within a market into different groups or segments where customers have the same requirements satisfied by a distinct marketing mix. The advantage with this technique is that one can look at the combination of variables to predict consumer or potential consumer groups. The best example of clustered solutions is in the area of benefit segment. The researcher could also go about grouping products or sectors. This makes it easier for both the organization and the policy makers while planning or evaluating the performance of the group. Cities or regions with some common traits like population mix, infrastructure development, climatic or socio-economic conditions could be clustered together. In the area of human resources, the technique can be used to group people into clusters on the basis of their educational qualifications, experience, aptitude and aspiration. This group can assist the HR division to effectively manage training and manpower development for the members of different clusters effectively. In segmenting financial sectors, different factors like raw material cost, financial allocation, seasonality and other factors are utilized to group sectors together to know the performance and growth of a set of industries. This also assists the policy makers and the financial analysts in assessing the monetary implications. A number of researchers are making use of clustering principles to group consumers and their investment behavior on the basis of the combination of different variables and benefits sought. Whenever a researcher wants to manage the data and perceives that there could be multiple factors involved, cluster analysis is the best classification technique at his disposal. Discriminate analysis. Discriminate analysis is a method that is appropriate with a nominal dependent variable and interval independent variables. Nominal dependent variables are very common in marketing. For example, a satisfied customer, service seeks customer or non-service seeker customer. This is the reason why discriminate analysis has received extensive application in marketing research. The objectives of discriminate analysis are to find a linear combination of variables that discriminate between categories of dependent variable in the best possible way. To identify independent variables comparatively better for discriminating among groups, to determine the statistical significance of the discriminate function and whether any statistical difference exists among groups in terms of predictor variables, to develop the procedure for assigning in new objects, forms or individuals whose profiles are known to one of the two groups, to evaluate the accuracy of classification of customers. Discriminate analysis is used to identify the discriminating statements to which people having diverse views will respond differently. For example, in case one wants to assess people who believe that corporate governance is the responsibility of policymakers against those who think it needs to be self-driven or individual-centric, one may generate a number of statements and then conduct a pilot study and select only those statements on which the two groups differ significantly. Most business managers recognize that the population under consideration can never be totally homogeneous in composition. Therefore, to understand what the key variables on which our two or more groups differ from each other, this technique is extremely useful. This technique is also used extensively to create attribute-based spatial maps of the respondents' mental positioning of brands. The advantage of the technique is that it can present brands or objects and their attributes on the same map. Therefore, the business manager can determine what attribute is the unique selling proposition of which brand and which are the attributes that are valued by the respondent, but there is no brand that currently satisfies that need. Conjoint analysis. Conjoint analysis is a technique developed since 1970s that allows businesses to work out and quantify the hidden rules people use to trade off between different products and services and to measure the values of different features or components of the other. By knowing precisely how people decide and what they value in products and services, the marketeer can identify the sweet spot or optimum level of features and services that equalize value to the customer against cost to the company and predict potential demand or market share in a competitive market condition. Conjoint analysis is concerned with measurement, a combination of two or more attributes that are important in marketing decision from customer's point of view. In this analysis, marketing research suggests a new combination on the basis of existing attributes. For example, a bank would like to know the most desirable combination of attributes to frequent borrowers, rate of interest, installment amount and date of installment. Conjoint analysis is useful for products which can be offered in different combinations for which the consumer has to make a trade-off. As such, it is more useful for products which require a longer buying process for consumers. The attributes for which different levels are to be tested might not be the ones that the consumer consider important while making a choice. It is not always right to add the utility scores across respondents unless the researcher is sure that they belong to homogeneous group. There are a large number of applications of multivariate analysis. Some guidelines for the use of multivariate analysis in marketing research are given below. The marketing researcher should not attempt to be technique oriented. If he generates a fancy for one or two specific techniques and applies them indiscriminately without checking their suitability in a given case, it will harm the interests of marketing research. It may also bring about the downfall of multivariable method. The researcher should remember that multivariable methods are not substitutes for his skills and imagination in the design of research. These are necessary in conceptualizing the problem. The researcher should not ignore the need for effective communication with the management. A first-rate study using sophisticated techniques may go in vain if the management is not able to understand it. He should not make statistical inferences about the parameters of multivariable models. Such inferences are not possible on account of the sizable existence of non-sampling or measurement errors in the data in social sciences. Such techniques should be viewed as descriptive statistical techniques for reduction of large data to a manageable one. The researcher should substantiate a number of judgments which he has to make with structural multivariate analysis of data. Friends, in this module, you have studied the concept, the objectives, the advantages and disadvantages, applications and major techniques of multivariate analysis. Thanks for visiting EPG Pathshala.